guys, my name is Ben Uke, and today I'm going to show you how I play Akaka Falls, arranged by Jake Shimabukuro. So I've divided it down into 5 parts, and a lot of the parts are very similar to each other. So let's go ahead and get into it. Some of the prerequisites you're going to want to have is this 3-stroke roll that pops up in a lot of Jake's songs. So how you play that is you kind of just cycle through these top 3 strings with your thumb, like this. And then in between each of those, you pluck the top string twice, or the bottom string twice. So it's a pretty simple concept, but it takes a little bit of practice to get down. If you devote a couple hours to it, I'm sure you can get it down pretty fast. And it pops up in a lot of Jake's songs, so you'll be able to use it a lot. Alright guys, so here's the first part. I'll play it up to speed one time, and then I'll break it down and show you what I'm doing. So here's the first part. So it might sound complicated when I'm trying to explain it, but it's really pretty simple. So first you pluck the top string, and you pluck the bottom string and pull off to the 7th fret. So you play the 8th fret, and you pull off. It's pretty simple. And then you keep that string, that finger there, and bar the 5th fret. And then you pluck the 2nd and 4th string together. You play the 3rd string and the 4th string, like that. And then you release your ring finger, and you play the 2nd and 4th, and then you play the 3rd string and hammer onto the 7th. And then you play the 4th string again. So it sounds like this so far. And then you slide down to sort of a G7 position with your 1st and 2nd fingers up here. Kind of a half G7. And you play the middle 2 strings. You play the top, you just kind of roll down like that. And then you play the full G7. Play the 3rd fret on the 4th string after that, so it's kind of do it on upstroke, and then you release all the other strings to a C chord, and then you kind of do a roll, and then you go down to an A7, which is just 1st fret on the 2nd string. Pretty simple. A lot of the notes in this song, they kind of just roll after you do it if you hear him playing. I don't know if it shows that in the tab, but pretty much after every note you just kind of... So now you're going to do that all again, and the ending's just a little bit different. So all this is the same. Up to the C chord, but then you kind of stair step down. Then you strum on the 1st and last part of it. Alright guys, so here's part 2. I'll play through it once and then break it down. Alright, so this is one of the harder parts. For some people it might be a bit of a reach, but the first chord is you bar the 5th fret, and you put your pinky on the 12th fret of the 4th string. That's how it starts out, so you just play that chord as is, and you roll through it. And then after you roll through it and strum it a 2nd time, so see what I did there? Strum it again, and then I play the 10th fret, so I go down. slide your first finger up to the 7th, and you your middle finger on the 8th fret. And you don't roll completely through this one, you skip the largest strings, so it sounds like this. So this is it so far. And then you strum it again. And then you go back up, so your pinky will play the 10th and the 12th. And then this is the hardest chord. So you have your first string is open, 2nd string, 4th fret, 3rd string, 7th fret, last string, 10th fret. And you play that and roll through it. And strum it again. And then for this one, it's kind of this jazz chord shape. So your first string is 6th fret, second string, 7th fret, 3rd string, 6th fret, 7th string, or 4th string, 7th fret. It's a pretty easy chord shape once you get used to it. You see it a lot in jazz, and it sounds like this. And you don't roll through that one all the way either. And then after you're done with that, you just do the same thing as in the first part. So it's I forget what it's called, but this chord, where it's a C chord, and your first finger is on the 3rd string, or the 1st fret of the 3rd string. I don't know if that's actually part of the tab. Sounds cool though. Alright, so you play through the 1st and 2nd parts twice, and the last time that you're going through them, there's a different ending. So after you play this part again, and you're ending it, so you're down here. Step down again, like the other parts, except when you get down to here, you go open 1, open 1, and you roll through that. And then it's kind of a finger picking section, so you play 2nd fret on the 2nd string, singly, and then you play it with the open 3rd string, and then you go to 1st fret with 3rd string, and you play them both again. So it sounds like this. And then there's a chord here, so you leave those 2 fingers there, and I put my ring finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string, and my pinky finger on the 3rd fret of the 4th string. So that chord should sound like this. So 2nd, 2nd, 1st, 3rd. And then, so that kind of goes all together. G7, play the 3rd fret of the 4th string, and slide up to open 5th, 3rd, 5th. And you roll through that. And then you slide your ring finger up to the 7th fret and play it with the 2nd string. And you roll through that. Through it, and slide down to the 5th fret and play so you kind of play 1 string on the 5th fret and slide down to the 3rd fret and roll that, and then slide down to the 1st fret, so it sounds like this. And you do that all over again. This is the 4th part. The 4th part is a lot like the 2nd part, except you're using that 3-fingered roll that I was talking about. So this is really hard to teach over like saying string names and fret numbers. You kind of just have to play that 3-finger roll and go through the different chord shapes that are in there. And you just kind of have to guess. You don't need to get it super on, but I'll play it for you and I'll try to explain it, so let's go for it. Alright, so it's the exact same chords as the second part, just with the finger roll, so I'll go through it with you. So you start out in that first shape. You need to play through the finger roll twice. So, like this. And then you slide down to the 10th fret, play through twice. And then you slide down to the 7th and 8th chord. You play through that 3 times. And then you don't stop doing it. And then as you're doing the 4th time through, kind of like throw your pinky up onto the 10th and 12th fret as you're doing it. So it's not going to sound perfect, but whatever, right? It's pretty fast, so no one will notice. Then you go through this one 4 times. And then you go down to the jazz chord 3 times. And then you do just like the first part. So the last part is kind of the outro to the song. It's the shortest part, probably the easiest part. It also utilizes that 3-fingered roll, and it starts out just like the first part. So I'll go ahead and play it for you. Alright, so as you saw, it starts out just like the first part. So you pull off onto the 7th, bar the 5th. But this time when you go up to the C chord, you play the C with the 1st fret of the 3rd string. And then you slide up to the 7th fret on the 4th string and the 3rd fret on the 3rd string, and you do the 3-fingered roll 4 times. And you slide up to the 10th fret of the 4th string and the 8th fret of the string. And then you slide up to the 15th fret of the 4th string and the 12th fret of the 3rd string. And you can mess with those numbers, so if you want to like go up faster, you can. It's kind of just how you're playing the song. If you're playing it live, you'll play it differently. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you want to know how all those fit together, you can just watch the first part, and you can see how they go together. I might have added a few notes here and there when I was playing it, but yeah, that's how I play it, and feel free to play it differently. I hope you liked this tutorial, and thanks for watching.